Welcome to Celebrate a Sister podcast. Welcome to Celebrate a Sister podcast. This week is a solo episode. I'm going it alone, no interview this week. I've just returned from a beautiful overseas holiday, 4 weeks. I will say holiday, it was travel. I like to say that a holiday is when you pull up at a place and you sit by the pool and hang out and don't change hotels. That's my idea of a holiday. However, this was travel. We did 18 hotels in 33 days. It was a lot, but well worth it. We travelled to 4 countries and had the most delightful time. And on that trip, there was some awakenings and some evolution in our marriage and of the both of us. And it was triggered from a really great reel that I heard from the amazing Alexi Panos. And Alexi was talking about being married for quite some time, and you go through, this is my synopsis, I guess, of what she said. You go through iterations or new versions of your marriage. And she said, at least every 5 to 10 years, you are evolving and growing into another version of your marriage. And I thought, gosh, this so hits home for us right now. I've been married to Brendan for 21 years. We've been together 24 years. And those of you who are also in long-term relationships, you'll probably resonate with this. The first part of a relationship, particularly if you have children, I will describe when the kids were young, and Brendan and I were both working. He was finding his way in his career. I was working out what I was doing and what I wasn't doing. I was in business. And it's very much the engine room of life. Pistons are pumping, cogs are turning, kids have got to be picked up and dropped off and fed, and both of you in the relationship also have personal goals that you both want to really achieve and desires that you want to express, but it's very much Groundhog Day, transactional, who paid the bills, who's managing the money. Wouldn't it be great to, get floorboards put in the house or landscaping done in the house? And it's very, very much this engine room of life, with some goals entwined, but personally for Brendan and I, it was a little bit of this just, get through this and survive this while having that beautiful family connection time. But what about your relationship? And that's the bit that I feel we did well. We fostered those date nights and we really fostered time with each other. Coming to our 4th version of our marriage, being together 21 years, and like Alexi mentioned, every 5 to 10 years you go through a new version. And Brendan and I were reflecting on this while we were away, and we were saying absolutely we are most definitely in a new version of our marriage. And talking to a girlfriend before I left, and I was a little bit hesitant about the whole travel and the whole expense of the trip, and what if we paid that off on the mortgage, very much in that, head down, tail up mode. And she gave me some really great advice, and she said to me, Emma, this is an investment in your marriage. And I thought, gosh, it really is. And I had to shift that and say, yeah, you know what? This is an investment in my marriage. And at the end of the day, what's important to me? Relationships. Take away the house, take the car, take the staff. But at the end of the day, relationships are one of my highest values. And yes, my marriage is most definitely one of my highest values, is to, if Brendan and I aren't good, no one's good. The kids aren't good, things aren't good. So that was the first piece of advice that I absolutely loved about traveling together. It's an investment. The other piece of advice that I've also received over the years is from one of my dear friends, and her marriage didn't last the distance. And I said to her one day, why do you think your marriage didn't last? What do you think it is? And she said, we stopped dreaming together. We used to dream together, and then we stopped dreaming together. While Brendan and I were away on our holiday or our travel, to our 4 different countries, we did a lot of dreaming together. You know, when you get to another country, you can't help but be inspired, and emotions evoked and dreams start to happen. You know, for instance, you know, we're in Italy and going, oh my goodness, we should just sell everything and move to Italy. How long do you think we'd last? Then we're looking at real estate. We're Googling how much property is, because that's what you do. You start to dream together and said, well, and you know, we talked about what would life be like if we lived here. So good just to have those dreams together and think about what your life would be. I also look at Brendan and I and say, what else has happened over these 21 years or 24 years together is we've both evolved individually and grown individually, but we've also grown together. And I'll often say he's actually not the man I married and I'm not the woman he married. We have most definitely grown into each part and stage of life and grown together as opposed to apart. So while we were away talking about our next version of our marriage, and we believe it's our 4th version of our marriage, and we had a little sign. You know, I love a good sign. Universe, give me a sign. So we were in a boat. We were at the Cinque Terre, the 5 villages in Italy, and we were staying in the most romantic place. It was just so beautiful. And we had an evening cruise booked in a boat, and there was just 4 couples on the boat, and this beautiful little guy driving us along the 4 towns, sunset. It was just magnificent. He pulled up the boat and he said, oh, everyone, you know, you can jump in and have a swim in the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean water is just beautiful. So before we jumped in, one of the couples had shared with us that they had, and they were probably just a little bit younger than Brendan and I, they shared with us that they'd just got engaged while in Italy. I said, oh my goodness, how romantic. And she said, oh gosh, I hope I don't lose my engagement ring. And I said, oh gosh, hang on to that. We all jumped into the water, you know, having a beautiful chat, floating around the Mediterranean, and Brendan and I just looking at each other going, oh, just, you know, this is just one of those moments that we'll never forget. Anyway, as we swim back to the boat, Brendan goes, oh my goodness. He goes, I've lost my wedding ring. And I laughed. I burst out laughing and I said to him, yes, because we're on our 4th marriage now. It's time for a new ring. Brendan has actually, that's the 4th wedding ring he's lost. The whole time, 21 years we've been together. That's that in the Mediterranean Sea, that's the 4th ring he has lost. And we laughed, you know, I mean, a couple of years ago, I probably would have lost my peanuts at him. But I did know, I went, oh my gosh, that is so significant. And like, thank you, universe. So we purchased another wedding ring for him in Europe. And, you know, the significance in that is beautiful as well. So yes, that is life according to Emma, my take, around this whole notion that Alexi shared. And I thought how true this is. So that's my little thoughts and feelings for this week. Hopefully it has hit a little something for you, and maybe looking at what stage you are in your relationship. Is it a new version? Is it not? I hope you both keep dreaming together, laughing together. I also hope that you choose to invest in your relationship, and perhaps it's a trip overseas, or maybe it's an investment that you do something else that brings you together. And the other thing is laughing together. That's the other thing, a sense of humour and being able to laugh at yourself and each other certainly does wonders, right? Go forth, my loves, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. And I look forward to hearing what your thoughts are on my life according to Emma, marriage, investing in each other's selves, time together, dreaming together, evolving together. I look forward to chatting to you soon.